Episode number 180.
I've always been one of these people that says, look, man, if you put your mind to it, you work hard enough, anything is possible. As the more exposure I got, and you see the way that certain people, certain living conditions they have, and certain community pressures and family pressures that they have, some people are just dealt a different hand.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm fired up today, and after this show, you're going to probably want to hop on a plane and travel the world because we're pumped to give you our featured guest today, Matt Javit. Matt, are you ready to be real?
I am, brother.
Yeah. He is a world traveler and publisher at passportjoy.com. And Matt recently returned home after traveling. Listen to this, folks. Traveling the world full-time for 27 months with his wife, visiting 35 countries, over hundreds of cities. They've gone to bucket list locations like Machu Picchu and the Galapagos Island, the Taj Mahal, Tokyo, Lisbon, Cape Town. And during his journey, he has found creative ways to keep the cost down. Obviously, yeah, he's traveling. So, I mean, let's just keep the cost down. We're going around the world there for 2 years. And also getting involved in the communities, networking. And before his life traveling with a single backpack, and he has now he was using technology service sales in Indianapolis, and now he's able to be in control of his own passions and journey and travel the world. And so we're excited to have you on the show today, my man. How's your day going today?
Oh, it's fantastic, Travis.
That is awesome. So what gave you this insight or passion into saying, you know what, I'm going to go out and create my own business or brand, and also just be able to travel the world like you have?
Yeah, it was a process over a long time. Obviously, my wife and I have similar goals and dreams, and it was through technology sales and achieving some sales incentive awards. Mm-hmm. I worked for a big international company, so all the cool trips at the end of the year for the high producers were exotic locations like Goa, India, Chiang Mai, Thailand, Istanbul, Turkey, Cape Town, South Africa. So it took me to these places, and I got exposed to what was out there in the world. And through that exposure, my wife and I started planning other trips to Rio and Croatia and Greece, and we just we kept seeing more and more things that we loved to be around, and our eyes continue to get open. And we just thought, what if we could do this full time? What if we could save enough money to do this full time? So we started putting those goals in place and putting the plans in order. And about 11 months before we left in February 2017, we really started to chart that out and figure out what that was going to take to make that happen.
Wow. So when you go to one of these new locations, what do you do for like where you stay at? How does that start? Where do you plan that out?
Yeah. So at a high level, I mean, we kind of knew exactly what we wanted to do in those 27 months, the bucket list locations for us.
Right.
And we always wanted to stay in warm climates because like we only had the one backpack each, so we couldn't take like winter clothes. And we're not like winter people anyway. We like the sun, we like the beach.
Right.
So we basically just followed the sun for 27 months.
Wow.
To different locations. And then so we would book the big trips, like the big legs from Indianapolis to Santiago, Chile, and then Ecuador to Portugal, and then Rome to India. And then in between that, we'd figure out the logistics between each, whether it be buses, cars, small planes, what have you, to get between the country to country in those different continents.
Wow.
And then when it came to accommodations, we did a lot of different things. We did shared accommodations with Airbnb. Mm-hmm. We had our own accommodations at Airbnb. We did a thing called Workaways, which helped us kept our budget down, where we volunteered our services for a place to sleep and a little bit of food. We did a thing called Trusted House Sitters, where we watched a couple of cats in Zurich, Switzerland for 3 weeks for a free place to stay in. We watched a dog in Singapore over the holidays.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So we did a lot of creative things to try to keep our budget down as far as possible, but still make the most of the journey, because for us, this was a career gap. We both worked extremely hard to get where we were. We saved money to make it happen. And so we weren't necessarily like backpackers, staying in hostels for $10 a day.
You had the money.
Yeah.
You had the money. You just were just trying to do it obviously efficiently, right? I mean, you can only imagine.
Yeah.
7 months is a big trip.
Yeah, it was on 35 countries, like you said, and so we had a chance to see a lot of different things around the world. But we wanted to keep our costs down, but also like live it and have a blast and do the things that made sense to do. And got a chance to do a lot of different sporting events. See a lot of different sumo wrestling, Muay Thai fighting, rugby matches on 2 continents. The motorcycle TT races in Isle of Man. If you ever seen that, it's crazy. So just things like that we knew that this was a chapter in life where we were going to go all out and have a blast, but at the same time be smart about certain things and expose ourselves. So when we came out of this chapter, we wouldn't be the same person that we were going into it, if that makes sense.
Oh, I can only imagine. It probably brought the bond between you and your wife like insane.
Yeah. Yeah. People always say, like, how could you spend that much time with one person? And we were great. I mean, the part of it too was we knew we could travel together before we left. I mean, we went on these other trips, and after 2 weeks, we weren't trying to get at each other's throat. We knew we were really good travelers together, and we knew we could do it. Right. But when you spend that much time together,
27 months,
it's a lot. But we figured out ways to create distance within even close quarters in the small places that we stayed in. I go for long walks. She had her nose in a book, stuff like that. We would just do things that were. We got a chance to do a lot of creative stuff that we never did prior to because I was working crazy hours in sales. She was a clinical pharmacist. So we were always working really, really hard. Yep. But so that break gave us time to do different things and different creative things that we didn't have time to do. So we did a lot of that as well.
Get your creative juices out that you maybe even never knew you had.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Some of that came out for sure.
Then how does that lead into now PassportJoy.com and your business to be able to help thrive and funnel this future ventures?
Yeah, so the Passport Joy has been an evolution where we started the blog to basically document because I think what we just did this career gap is going to be much more common with the next generation. It's definitely more experiences rather than bigger houses and more cars and stuff like that.
Right.
So we wanted to document the things that we did, so those that were coming behind us could take advantage of some of the hacks that we've discovered. So we went from doing a blog that then transitioned to a podcast. So we actually did a podcast, 60 episodes in different locations around the world weekly. So you know how hard it is to do a podcast, and we did that from airports, small Airbnbs, cafes, everything. And we kept on it consistently for over a year, and we're still doing that to give back to the travel community. And then also with the evolution became a YouTube series called World Barbershop Adventures, where I documented my time in barbershops in these different cities around the world, and also gave a kind of like an Anthony Bourdain-ish cultural aspect of the stuff that we were going through. To give a visual component. So all those three things combined just kept rolling and gave us a lot of things to do while we traveled, where we can still enjoy it. But now from that, I'm creating a police photo book that I'm extremely proud of. That just as luck would have it, on our first city that we went to in Santiago, Chile, I saw a police officer that was captivating me. I asked to take a photo. She said yes. And then a couple of days later, I saw another police officer. And at that point, I told my wife, I said, look, if I get more chance of this, I'm going to keep doing this. And from the journey, I took over 70 photos of police around the world. Yeah. So I'm building that into a photo book. So I'm learning how to do all that as far as self-publishing and whatnot and creating that. And that's just, I guess, kind of the one other piece from this whole travel adventure.
That's cool, man. So what's next? What's the next adventure? Where's the taking you next?
Oh, as far as travel, so we're in this transition phase where we're coming back. So I did corporate sales for 9 years in technology services. Now I'm starting my own business where I'm going to be doing the same here locally. But as far as travel goes, it's deep into my soul, man. I want to keep traveling. And one of the cool things from the barbershop adventures is I had a few people that just really gravitated to it, and a lot of the barber community, but also people that are outside of the barber community, and friendships around the world. And one of those friendships is a gentleman by the name of Chris Gale. We don't really know him in America, but he's pretty popular outside of America because he's one of the best cricket players really? Ever to play the game. Yeah. So he's invited me to his home in Jamaica for his 40th birthday in September. Yeah. So the plan is he's going to cut my hair in Jamaica because he says he's good with the clippers, and he wants to showcase that on the series. So I'm going to document that, hang out with Chris, and it should be a blast. I mean, he's got kind of the who's who of West Indy buddies. So Usain Bolt, guys like that will probably be in attendance of the party, and so it should be a blast. And all this just came from the randomness of social media. It's pretty wacky. Amazing. It is. And it's funny, like he's got 2.6 million Instagram followers, and we don't even know who this guy is in America. I mean, cricket is not even a popular sport or anything we talk about, but cricket is actually the second most popular sport in the world.
Next to football,
behind football or soccer. Football. But yeah, so that should be a blast. And so that's the next on my list is Jamaica, which I've never been to. So that should be awesome.
That's cool, man. That's exciting. How long are you going to get a chance to go out there for?
I'll be there for 6 days.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to enjoy it, brother. You're going to enjoy it. And it sounds like you got something very unique and niche with the show with the barbershop show. I think that's like the shows. I think now more than ever people are into having a real specific focus, and then creating a community around it. And I think that's a really unique idea. Going to different barbershops across the world. I think that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, thank you. And that's when I first talked about it, because I was getting all these cuts for over a year. And then I was in Bucharest, Romania, and the barber actually he spoke really good English, and we were just chopping it up as I normally would while I was getting a haircut. And as I was describing our adventure and the different haircuts I've received in different places like Hong Kong and Vietnam and Peru, he took a huge interest, and he was like, man, he's asking me all kinds of detailed questions, and I was excited to tell him about these places. And so when I came home that day, I just told my wife, I was like, I think I need to start documenting this and share it with other people that might never get to see this stuff.
Right.
So that's where it all came from. And she's on board, and she was awesome. And because she's the one behind the camera and the when I'm getting my haircuts and beard shaves and all the crazy stuff I got around the world, she's the one behind the camera. So she was on board, and we had a blast with it, and we're continuing to do it. I've already shot a couple in America, and obviously I'm gonna do the one in Jamaica, and so I'm just gonna let my hair grow out, and then I'll let my beard go a little bit, and then whenever we take a trip, I'll just find a barber shop there and keep doing it to kind of just feed the YouTube channel.
That is cool, man. I love that. I think that's fabulous. My other question to you is, after going to all these countries, do you speak a lot of different languages? How do you navigate going through these different countries?
Yeah, so no. The answer is no. I've got broken Spanish skills, which I used a bit in South America and in Spain. We were there, but no. Typically, I would get a few of the hello and thank yous down, but use Google Translate a lot.
Right.
But you'd be shocked. Outside of Japan was our most difficult country to navigate without the English language. Most other countries, they do speak English, or they at least attempt to. And as long as you do it in a I guess non-arrogant way, that
like in a friendly way. Yeah,
let them know that, look, I apologize, I only speak one language, and it's English, and you go about it that way, rather than, hey, do you speak English?
Right.
More of like, I realize I'm in your country,
right,
and I'm the ignorant one, so I'd appreciate it if you help me through this. And people were, as long as if you're very humble in your how you address things, people are very nice.
That's awesome. That's true. I think that's very true. And that's just in general, I think, in life, right? It's just like, if you're good to people, they're usually going to be pretty good back to you.
Amen, brother. It's not, we make life pretty difficult at times when it doesn't have to be.
Right. Yeah. Everyone's trying to like force each other's point of view down each other's throats. Problem, I think, is
Yeah.
No one just knows how to live and just appreciate it. Like, that's what they want to view. Okay, great. It's just like a soccer team. It's like, you like that team, I like this team. No worries, you know. Like, if we play each other, yeah, there's gonna be a rivalry, but that's besides that, we like soccer. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Or like we'd meet other travelers we'd be in these foreign lands, and they would be complaining about certain things within the town or whatnot. And you're like, just like, well, this is the way they like to do it. Just because our Americanisms of making things more efficient and faster and in our mind better doesn't mean it's necessarily better for them. Maybe a 3-hour dinner is cool. And
they like
sometimes it's maybe sometimes and a lot of times it is great. So yeah, I think all of us, if we just kind of self-checked a little bit and not had to kind of push our views on other people, I think everybody would get along a little bit better.
And I'm sure everybody on this podcast, I doubt there's anyone that's had an adventure like you have. I mean, I doubt there's anyone on the show that's been on a 27-month adventure. So I think everyone is somewhat envious in what you're doing. I mean, it's cool that you took off, you and your wife, you came together and you went after something you both wanted to do and you made it happen. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think it's probably made you a whole different type of person, because you've just seen so many different cultures and personalities and lifestyles. And I'm sure it's humbled you in certain ways when you see people, how we live compared to how we live in America. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it has. It's taught me some lessons. And I tell you, one of the biggest lessons I learned along the way is I've always been one of these people that says, look, man, if you put your mind to it, you work hard enough, anything is possible.
Right.
And that is, it's ingrained in me. It's who I am. And it's very much the American way, the American dream. And people say American dream other parts around the world. But the reality is the more exposure I got, and you see the way that certain people, certain living conditions they have, and certain community pressures and family pressures that they have, I've now kind of taken a step back and have a bit of sympathy and empathy with these folks that some people are just dealt a different hand. You know what I mean? And it's some of the circumstances they're dealing with where their only thought is, how do I get fed for these next 3 or 4 days? Or how do I get through this next week, is so much different than the way that we have the opportunity to look at life on, okay, what's my next 3 to 5 years look like?
Right.
And it's, that's something that I have totally changed my opinion on, because we had an opportunity to be deep in some of these communities and spend a lot of time with people that aren't as blessed as much as we are, as far as maybe financial and material. But when it comes to families and communities and some of the things they're surrounded by, we don't have what they have, to be honest with you. So it's that's one of the big lessons that I learned along the way. The other one is probably multi-generational living generational living.
Yes.
I was always in the mind frame, kind of the American mind frame of, when you're 18, get out of the house, go do your own thing. Families tend to be apart. I mean, you can have a family that lives in the same city and they've got 7 different houses, depending on how many kids they have. Where in other parts of the world, you've got the grandparents or maybe even the great grandparents all living with the children and the grandchildren all within the same home. And I think there's a lot of value in that. I didn't really think that way before we left, but now to be able to be in those homes and live with some of those families and see how the children are raised, and just see how they come together at dinner and everybody bounces the duties of the home, and the conversations between the child and the grandparent, and or a mom and her aunts, a great aunts, and just those relationships and how they form. And then you can see the amount of time they spend together. I have a lot of appreciation now for multi-generational living, and it's something that really stuck with me as we came home.
Oh yeah, I've heard that they're even making new strides in that in some communities to make it like a part of the culture, where it's like, this is how it is. I mean, I know in a lot of situations it's because of financial situations. The parents don't have retirements like we do in America, where they're pushing 401ks and Roth IRAs and, retirement funds. And so the family's living together because it costs wise, the grandparents don't have the money. They're not working anymore. But the benefit, they say too, is for both the young and the old, that the older folks, they get that youth that they wouldn't have if they're just in some retirement home. And
absolutely.
There's so much new research around this. So I think, and a lot of the home builders now, especially like Lennar, they've really taken a stride into this, and they're making a lot of the houses multi-gen now. I've seen lately the new houses, there's an option for oh, you want a third garage or you want another multi-gen house? Where you
okay, yeah.
I'm just have seen it kind of across the board. I think it's a moving trend. Hopefully it continues to happen because I think that's a really good point.
It's fantastic.
Have a family member living with you, your parents, your grandparents, giving them a new, flavor of life too, and that, they don't get that youth otherwise. But now we're about to take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
Yes.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Chicken, steak, or fish?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Oh, I like it. Laptop or iPhone?
Laptop.
Spotify or Pandora?
Amazon Music.
Ooh, nice. Good one. Movies or video games?
Movies.
Reading books or listening to books?
Listening to books.
Stocks, crypto, or real estate?
Stocks.
Oceans or lakes?
Oceans.
Yeah, oceans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, is there a skill that you're looking at and saying, I want to get better at that? Is there something you're working on to be, improve on your own?
Yeah. It's part of this process of this police photo book that I'm making. I'm self-publishing, so I've had to go through that entire process to understand how do you create this, and then work with a publishing company to get it printed. So all those skills that go into that are things that I've been working on and I'm understanding. And now the transition to market the book is going to be another skill that I have to learn.
That's the next one, huh? The push.
Yeah, the big push.
The big push. Do you have a favorite app on your phone right now? Is there something you gravitate to on your phone that helps you through your day?
Sticking to the travel theme, ExpressVPN.
ExpressVPN, okay.
Yeah, super helpful. So essentially it's a VPN app, a virtual private network. And as you travel, it's important when you're in cafes, restaurants, or even like an Airbnb to create that private tunnel to the internet.
Right.
And ExpressVPN did that both on the laptop and the phone.
Oh,
and
cool.
Also the other cool thing is not only security wise for like bank account information, passwords and all that stuff, but also to see content. Because a lot of these places they'll filter the content that you can see, but with like a place like ExpressVPN, if I'm sitting in Thailand and I want to make it look like I'm in Canada,
right,
or the United States, I can use ExpressVPN, connect to one of those VPNs, and watch my Netflix. Or I got super addicted to this rugby sevens, which I think is going to be a huge sport in the coming years. And I was in places where I couldn't pick up the games anywhere because there wasn't connections in the places I was. So I was VPNing through Canada to watch the sevens games for free. So that's a cool app that I use a lot.
Yeah, I heard that sevens. Yeah, it's a faster game, right? It's like a faster kind of rugby game.
Yeah, it's about 20 to 25 minutes total. And they play 7-on-7, and we're doing really well. The United States, for just jumping into rugby, we're the top three. We're a top 1 or 2, 3 team in the world.
Really?
This year we're doing really well. So it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, we went to Fiji. It's huge there.
Huge, brother. Huge.
Like,
we went to a local game. Yeah,
really?
We went to a local game at Fiji. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. We had our host take us to a local game while we were there, and man, it's intense, man. It is just and they're playing. What's craziest part is the intensity of rugby is already there, but these guys were playing on a field that would it would like rival like a high school field for us in the States, but I mean it was like damn near playing on concrete. It was so like so these guys were all bloodied and bruised and getting after it, but you could just see the intensity and the speed. I mean, that's why Fiji's number 1 in the world, because only 1 million people on that island, in those islands. And they're the best in the world at that sport because they bleed it. I mean, it's everything to them is to win at rugby.
Right.
And that's why they from an early age, those kids are on the field playing the sport. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. I think you're right about that. It's another sport that could take over. Sevens.
Yeah.
Be real tonight for dinner. If you could sit down for dinner, a chicken wing dinner with anyone in the world, who would it be?
David Blaine.
Ooh, I love that guy. That guy's fascinating, dude. That guy is fascinating.
Absolutely, brother.
I know he's really good train. He's intense trainer. but I feel like he also just got some other powers about him or something.
Man, I don't know. I mean, it was just. I don't know if you saw the one where Ricky Gervais where he put the thing through his arm.
Yeah,
but
yes.
There's things he does that are right within a hand's or an arm's length of people that just blow my mind. So I'd love to sit with that guy.
And I've heard a lot of it is he's just researching like certain things, like where you actually can put your thing through that area. Meticulous to the point. If not, it's like 1 centimeter off. You rupture stuff. So it's fascinating. He's taking that little edge there, but he's always been very captivating. Him and Chris Angel, man. Chris Angel too. There's something about those guys. They got some extra power or something.
They really do, man. It's a lot.
Charisma, I think it is, or something. The power of charisma. Make you believe I just stuck this through my arm and pulled it out the other side.
Yeah.
What book has changed your life? Is there a book that you have that you like to either reread or something you sticks to your heart?
Yeah, on the journey, we were very much digital because we only had the one backpack apiece, but I actually brought one physical book that it's always been a big part for me. It's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a short read, but it's super deep, and every time you read it, depending on the stage of life you're in, it's going to change you, and it's powerful to me, and it's really a foundational book for a lot of the things that have come up from Jim Rohn to Tony Robbins, all these guys. As a Man Thinketh is one of those foundational books. I'm
gonna have to check that out. As a Man Thinketh. We'll put that in the show notes. Do you have a favorite thing to do at night? A favorite show or something to do with the wife at night?
I mean, there's a few. So we Netflix sometimes. I mean, like Ozarks or Narcos or shows like that. That could. I guess that's the one way we get away. When we're not traveling. Yeah.
Love it, brother. And where is the best place for people to find you and where you hang out?
PassportJoy.com is the best. PassportJoy.com.
And we'll definitely put that in the show notes. Can you give our listeners one last real talk thought?
I guess don't think that you can't live out your dreams. At one point, I saw people traveling the world, and I thought, man, that's amazing. There's no way I could ever do that. And it clicked to me that it could be me. And then we made it happen after that. So you can absolutely live out your own dreams.
Well, folks, you've been hanging out with Matt, Javit, and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform, and also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it, and thank you so much for listening today.